So here I am scanning this little power converter I've got on my motorbike, trying to make a little piece for it. You might see sometimes that these blue laser lines disappear, and that's because it's basically lost tracking, or it's not sure if it's tracking. Getting the tracking off these little circles, what they are is basically just little retro reflectors. The camera that's on the scanner will shoot off a little IR beam, bounces off these retro reflectors. And because of how retro reflectors work, they'll always reflect some light back to the source, like those little rear retro reflectors on the back of bikes. Anyway, when it shines it back to the source, it's able to use those high contrasting points because nothing else reflects infrared, or most things don't anyway, and it's able to triangulate its location in 3D space. And then once it shines the laser beams and sees how much it deflects the laser beams from what should be a straight line, then it knows the offset of the surface that it's scanning. So really, a scanner like this more or less has two kind of control systems that it uses. One's its localization and one is actually scanning the object. You can see how that scan's coming up in pretty detailed. This is fusing or finalizing the mesh now, and I've got it at 0.05 microwave, says it's done. And we're definitely at least able to see some of the components on there in really good detail actually. These blobby parts will just be the solder, not so much uncertainty from the actual meshing process itself. And here's what the other side of that also looks like. Amazing detail. You can see the little bit of wire that's wrapping around with the coil even. Now what I can actually do is align these two scans together, and once that's finished, here's what that looks like. Did a pretty good job really. There's a few gaps in the mesh, but that's just because it's really hard to scan in those areas. They're pretty tiny. One interesting thing that I did is it still aligned it despite the wires coming out in different directions at the rear. Now that's just because when I put it on my scanning area, as I flipped it, the wire just flexed in different directions. But the point is that it still managed to align all this and get it all bang on despite the wires doing something different at the rear.